This video, breaking the 7-year cycle, explores the strategic shift in Samsung's Galaxy S27 Ultra approach. We will examine hardware changes, the tiered ecosystem strategy, and the Appleification of Samsung. The macro shift involves Samsung adopting the Apple playbook by moving from a unified flagship specification to a tiered system with feature gating. This creates standard, advanced, and elite tiers, each with distinct components and pricing. The new lineup hierarchy divides the S27 series into 3 categories: S27 and S27 Plus as the baseline, S27 Pro as the bridge, and S27 Ultra as the halo. Key hardware differences include processor, storage, display supplier, and form factor. Samsung is shaking up the camera by dropping the weaker 3x telephoto lens. Instead, they will utilize a high-resolution 200-megapixel sensor with cropping to replicate optical zoom. This addition by subtraction frees up valuable internal space. Re-engineering the chassis, Samsung is achieving a better balance by removing the 3x lens, which frees up spatial access. This allows for improved magnetic clearance for Qi2 charging and a battery cavity alteration, targeting a 5,300 mAh capacity bump. Hardware-level HDR, or LOFIC, is explained. Unlike traditional multi-frame HDR, which risks ghosting, LOFIC uses a lateral overflow integration capacitor to manage excess light in a single hardware pass, improving deep shadows and bright highlights. The Galaxy S27 Ultra will see the return of variable aperture. This feature allows the lens to physically adjust for different lighting conditions, optimizing depth of field in bright sunlight and maximizing light intake for superior night and portrait shots. An internal conflict exists between competing physical forces: S Pen digitizer technology, Qi2 magnetic charging, and silicon carbon battery tech. Samsung is seeking a compromise, as magnets disrupt the S Pen and aggressive battery tech carries high risks. The silicon divide splits the elite. Standard S27 models will use the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6, while Pro and Ultra models exclusively feature the Gen 6 Pro, delivering greater performance for on-device AI generation. UFS 5.0 storage is the hidden hero for the Pro and Ultra, offering a 2.5x speed multiplier over UFS 4.0 in the base S27. Gating UFS 5.0 creates a stark performance gap, which is crucial for intensive on-device AI features. Cost pressures on next-gen processors and RAM are forcing a strategic shift in the supply chain. Samsung is testing cheaper BOE OLED panels for its base models to protect retail pricing, while keeping premium Samsung display for the Pro and Ultra. The walled garden is being breached. QuickShare, powered by Google, now utilizes the AirDrop protocol, eliminating ecosystem friction. Consumers can now choose hardware based on merit rather than anxiety about leaving an ecosystem. The innovation tax highlights a challenging equation. The high cost of advanced components like the Gen 6 Pro chip and UFS 5.0 must be balanced against the consumer price ceiling, forcing a decision between margin hits or price increases. The Galaxy S27 Ultra marks the end of the brute force megapixel war. By prioritizing optical physics with variable apertures and smart silicon gating, Samsung is executing a calculated, mature industrial strategy. The strategic era has begun. The Galaxy S27 Ultra represents a paradigm shift, transitioning from specifications based on brute force to strategic tier engineering, precision, and ecosystem convergence. The S27 generation introduces subtraction by addition by expanding battery capacity to a targeted 5,300 mAh, realigning internal components for magnetic accessories, and refining the front camera cutout. Hardware-level privacy is enhanced with Gorilla Armor 2, a hardware privacy display, and a Polar ID sensor array, providing superior biometric security. Camera optics feature a variable aperture, adjusting between f/1.4 and f/4.0. Digital telephoto parity uses the 200-megapixel sensor for 3x zoom, and a dedicated 50-megapixels 5x optical periscope handles extreme focal lengths. The LOFIC paradigm replaces traditional HDR. Instead of merging 3 overlapping frames, the lateral overflow integration capacitor, or LOFIC, catches excess light in a single exposure, preventing motion blur. The fracturing the silicon strategy reserves the Elite Gen 6 Pro processor and faster UFS 5.0 memory for the S27 Pro and Ultra, while base models use the standard Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 and UFS 4.0. This scene is intentionally left blank as it corresponds to a blank slide in the input. This scene is intentionally left blank as it corresponds to a blank slide in the input. This scene is intentionally left blank as it corresponds to a blank slide in the input.